good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Hello and welcome to our virtual Discover Woodbury event. On behalf of the admissions team here at Woodbury, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day, and we hope that you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. My name is Justin Stadel, and I'm the admissions counselor for the School of Architecture. I'm excited to announce that the School of Architecture is expanding to include 3 new majors, which I'll get into a little bit later. But first, I'm here this morning with Cynthia Cifuentes, who is our admissions counselor for the School of Business and the College of Liberal Arts. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Justin. My name is Cynthia Cifuentes, and as mentioned, I'm the admissions counselor for the School of Business and the College of Liberal Arts here at Woodbury. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's great to see so many familiar names out there. I have really enjoyed working with you and your families, and I do look forward to continuing those conversations.
Thanks, Cynthia. So we're going to have a really good day today. I know that most of us are already super familiar with the virtual world by now, so I'll just briefly highlight some helpful hints to make your experience with us run as smoothly as possible. This presentation will be recorded, and by joining us, you are giving your consent to potentially have your photo, name, and likeness as part of the recording. Please do us a favor and have your display name match your register name for the event. Make sure to complete the attendance survey later on in the program so that we can get some feedback and provide you with an application fee waiver if you haven't already applied. Please keep your mic muted and use the chat feature to ask questions that may come up. If you need to log in to the meeting for whatever reason later on, you can use the original login link provided. All right, so let's take a look at the agenda. Feel free to take a picture of this for future reference throughout the day. So whether you're a returner or a first timer to this event, I want to start by sharing some updates and news about the university since our last Discover Woodbury. I also want to give an overview of some new programs that we are launching this fall. Then my colleague Cynthia will go over our Discover Woodbury resources page. After this presentation, you will remain in this room for our guided virtual tour, followed by 3 breakout sessions. These are major specific sessions, an admissions Q&A session, financial aid Q&A, student services, library, and ask a student panel. Cynthia will have more on that later. So if you haven't already, please make sure to watch the Woodbury Difference video. That was emailed to you earlier on. So after this, please take a look at it if you haven't yet. We share some very important information about Woodbury, our undergraduate programs, and our admissions process. All right, that being said, let's dive in. All right, so there's some great things happening in Woodbury in 2022 and a few exciting updates. This year, we're excited and very proud to announce that Woodbury has achieved the ANAPISI designation, which stands for Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Serving Institution. Together with our existing HSI status, Hispanic Serving Institution, we hope to continue our mission to build a culture that values diversity and inclusiveness. We are also excited to offer the Woodbury Honors Program. This fall, it's for eligible high-achieving students that are seeking to enhance their educational experience. This program includes curricular, co-curricular, and community service opportunities. For more information about the Honors Program, please bring your questions to the admission sessions following this presentation. For those of you who are planning to transfer to Woodbury to complete degrees in the School of Business or the College of Liberal Arts, there's now an associate degree for transfer option known as ADT. This option requires a student to complete 60 units or more and guarantees transfer to Woodbury at the junior year level. In addition to our ADT program, we have initiated the Academic Fresh Start policy that's targeting our transfer students and non-traditional applicants. This policy provides the opportunity for an applicant to clear their academic record for courses taken 10 years ago or more prior to their planned enrollment date. For those of you who are still in high school for a few years, we are hosting our high school academy for rising juniors and seniors. So that's happening from June 21st to July 28th. Students can enroll and engage in college courses, get college credit, and also attend a college application workshop. If you have any additional questions about these updates, please make sure to attend the admissions breakout session later on in the program. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening in the School of Architecture. So as I mentioned, we're excited to launch 3 new majors in this fall for the School of Architecture. First up is Construction Management. That's a Bachelor of Science degree that marries design, technology, and business executive skills, preparing students for roles in development, construction, and design-related industries. The second program is Design Computation. That's a Bachelor of Science degree where students will learn about software, programming, robotics, digital fabrication, and the humanities. Examples of skills learned are coding, debugging, prototyping, and algorithms. Our third new program is Sustainable Practices. That's a Bachelor of Arts degree that focuses on the interaction between humans and the natural and built environments. This major promotes a rigorous understanding of how resources are used and the impact of technology and consumption on the environment. There will be breakout sessions for all 3 of these majors, so please make sure to join those at a later time today. At this time, I'm going to pass the torch over to Cynthia, who will share with you our Discover Woodbury resources page. Take it away, Cynthia.
Thank you, Justin. So many new and exciting things are happening at Woodbury this coming year. I'm excited. I hope that you're excited too. But before we move on to discuss the Discover Woodbury research page, we thought it would be fun to take a quick break from all the information you're receiving and test your Woodbury knowledge. So as many of you know, Woodbury is famously known for our internship requirement. Our students have interned for some amazing companies throughout the greater Los Angeles area, and we want to see how much you know about them. So here is the question. You all ready? Okay. So our students have interned at all of these companies and organizations on this list, except for one. Which company out of the list you see on the screen have Woodbury students not interned at? Please type your answer in the chat. So is it Goop? Is it Nike? Is it Gensler? Which one? YouTube? All right, TikTok. Let's see where we're leaning.
TikTok, Rolex.
NASA. All right. Oh, I see that Goop's kind of making it. Oh, did I incept that idea?
I think I mentioned that first. So like, no, it's all Goop.
Maybe we tricked you. Maybe it's something completely different.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's see where everyone's going. Let's see if we can get a few more answers. LA Rams. Hey, Super Bowl. Let's see. All right.
Okay.
Pinterest. Wow. Okay. I see answers all over the place. This is exciting. I always love these type of questions. All right. Are you guys ready for the answer? It's Chewy. None of our students have entered a Chewy yet. So for those of you who don't have pets, Chewy is an online store offering pet food and other pet-related products. So who knows? If you attend Woodbury and are an animal lover, you might be interning at Chewy in the near future. So yes, Cameron, I think you're the only one who got it right from what I saw. So good job. All right. With this said, we can see that our students have had amazing opportunities gaining real world experience with these companies, right? From, hey, guess what? Goop, Ernest and Yan, as well as LA Rams. We all know the importance of internships and that they add value to the college experience. And this is one of the many reasons why students choose Woodbury. So thank you all for playing. And again, congratulations, Cameron, for getting that correct answer. I had a blast. I hope you did too. So now I would like to go through our Discover Woodbury research page that we created specifically for you and your families. This page has a ton of great resources, including links, videos, and shareable handouts of all the information we have covered so far. You can visit the website at the bottom of your screen to find information about our upcoming events, admission requirements, financial aid information, important deadlines, and updates regarding COVID policy. The resource page also has information for veteran and undocumented students. In addition, you can also request for information to be mailed directly to you if that's what you prefer. And as always, please be sure to reach out to any of us if you have trouble finding anything on the site. And then actually the link is also on the chat. So there you go. Thank you, Ani. All right, so feel free to take a picture of this. As well, it's the agenda mentioned earlier. So at this time, I'm going to be handing the reins over to our tour coordinator, Rachel Ortiz, and our amazing student ambassadors, who will be your guides during the virtual tour. As briefly covered by Justin, after the tour, we will have 3 breakout sessions taking place one after another. In breakout session 1, you will have the opportunity to select one major of your choice where you'll hear directly from the department chair and learn more about that program. In breakout session 2, you can select an alternative major to learn more about. So if you're torn between 2 programs like, I don't know, fashion design or fashion marketing, or you're trying to decide between filmmaking or professional writing, this session will be perfect for you. This is also a great opportunity to ask our academic departments about minors to complement their programs. Or you can hear from our Woodbury community, which includes sessions with the financial aid department, the admissions department, the library, or Tuition Center. And the Wyndham Center will cover information on counseling services, disability and accessibility, campus security, and much more. For the third and final breakout session, you have another opportunity to hear from the Woodbury community, or you can hear directly from one of our Woodbury students in our Ask a Student panel. Finally, if you're interested in on-campus housing, we're hosting an optional housing tour after breakout session 3. I know, that's a lot, but don't worry. Throughout the event, we will help guide you. So with that said, thank you so much, everyone. We're so glad you're here, and we hope you enjoyed the rest of Discover Woodbury. Rachel, over to you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Hello, everyone. Good morning, if it's morning where you are, afternoon, evening. I know we already said that, but it bears repeating. Welcome. We're really happy to have you, and we're very happy to host you for our virtual walking tour today. My name is Rachel Ortiz. I am the tour coordinator at Woodbury University. We are going to meet our student ambassadors in just a bit, who are going to host you for this tour. A couple of housekeeping things. You are free to ask questions in the chat, but just so you're aware, we're going to host a longer Q&A session in breakout number 3 with our ambassadors called Ask a Student. So we encourage you to please join us for that. And if I could have my ambassadors go ahead and turn their cameras on now. So if any question you ask in the chat, we might not get to it now, but we will have time to get to it in our longer Ask a Student Q&A session later. And so we hope you'll join us for that. And then we encourage you to put your Zoom on speaker view if you can. It's an option in your menu. It'll just make sure that you can see the speaker at the time so that you don't have to worry about searching for who's talking. All right. Thank you, tour guides. All right. So now you're going to meet the tour guides who you're going to be hearing from in this tour. We have Bradley, who's a management student, Ruby, who's an architecture student, Aria, who is a filmmaking student, and Alfonso, who's an architecture student as well. So we're really happy to have them join us for this tour. Okay. So I'm not sure, those of you mentioned earlier this morning, and tour guides, you can go ahead and turn your cameras off and we'll see when you speak for the first time. So let us know in the chat if you have ever been to our campus in Burbank, California before. For those of you who have, welcome back virtually. And for those of you who haven't, we do look forward to hosting you in person in the near future. But I do think this is a really nice opportunity to learn some things about our campus and to maybe see some spaces that you don't always see on the tour. So we're happy to show you around. So we have a beautiful campus in Burbank, California. Here you can see the overview here of everything we're going to see. Usually when you come on campus for the first time, you're going to come into our main entrance, which is has 24/7 security, 365 days a year. So that's really important because for those who live on campus, as well as those who have a design-based major, maybe they're on campus late at night working on a project. And, you know, it's just nice to know that there's always someone available if you need anything. Also, for those of you who are interested in living on campus, we are going to do an optional housing tour at the very end. So please stick around for that and we'll show you about our residence halls and housing options. But here's the overview of the quad. So usually once you come into our main parking lot, it takes you to this big parking lot here. And that feeds in right to our quad, which is where all the action is. This is where a lot of activities go on and where people like to hang out. So this is where we like to start our tour. And so the first space we're going to showcase is called Miller Hall. It's to the right here. This is what we call our Consolidated Student Center. I know that's like a long term for this, but basically the short answer is that it's where a lot of support services are for students in one centrally located spot where you don't have to hunt them down. So our admissions team is located in here, myself and all the team who you've met so far, as well as our financial aid office and the office of the registrar and the business office. So it's really nice. Anytime you need help with those kinds of services, they're in one spot. And then upstairs, we have some computer labs, which we will take a look at in a bit. And we have our IT department there as well. And then scrolling on over to the left, we're going to take a look at Hensel Hall. So Hensel Hall has a few important things to note. Upstairs, we have the office of the president and the boardroom. So for any of you who are interested in participating in student government and leadership, we have a couple of programs for that. And it's a really great opportunity to get some great experience, but it also gives the students a voice on campus, and they get to decide, what kinds of things to do for students on campus, how to spend some of those funds, and they meet with the president regularly to discuss that. And then downstairs, we have the Office of Human Resources. And so a lot of people are interested in getting a job on campus. All of our ambassadors, who you will meet in a bit, are student workers. And so it's a really great opportunity to see what departments are hiring for student workers. And then we also have our academic affairs office. And so if you need help with any support, there's peer mentors. These are the people who usually help get you set up for orientation and all that good stuff. So all of those kind of things are located right next to each other near the entrance. And now we're going to take a look at the quad with Bradley. It looks like Bradley's having some issues with his camera and maybe his mic. I'll go ahead and get started until I see him here. So this is the quad, obviously really beautiful. Today is going to be a very, very warm day in Southern California. I'm not really sure why it's so hot in February, but I'm sure a lot of you who live in the East Coast or colder places are wanting that warmth right now. A lot of great things take place in the quad. This is where a lot of people socialize and gather together. A lot of activities will take place here as well. Some of the fun things that take place, especially during holiday time, are when, during Halloween, there's a costume contest. A lot of clubs will set up out here and do free events. They'll give out free food. They'll give out Woodbury swag and prizes. And during Welcome Week, we had like some food trucks out here, and there was a lot of fun stuff going on. So the quad is a really great place to hang out and spend some time, in between classes, if you just need some, vitamin D and sunshine. And a lot of people enjoy socializing out here. All right, until Bradley gets back, we will continue on to the library. Ruby, are you able to pop on and maybe share with us a little bit about the library? I will introduce it for us. So this is our library. Some people may have heard by now because this happens a lot on our tours, or some of you may have looked at our history online. But Woodbury's campus here was actually prior used to be a Catholic high school for girls. Woodbury was founded in 1884, and it was in downtown Los Angeles as a school business, but then they moved here in 1987. And so you see a lot of really great relics left over from that. You can see here this was the chapel. And so we have our original archways, original stained glass windows. It's a really beautiful place to be and hang out in here. I'm not sure if there's an issue with the videos. If our tour guides could chat, maybe if they're not able to turn their videos on. But until then, I will continue so we can keep sharing about the library. So each major has their own reference librarian, which is really great. So that means if you need help with a project, if you're having issues finding the right resources, you can do all of that in here with your reference librarian. Also, some fun events take place in here, as well as some filming on campus. So for those of you who are interested in filmmaking, a lot of studios will come here to film their projects. And recently we had Saved by the Bell reboot on Peacock film here. And then the one that was the most recent is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot on Peacock that I believe is premiering tomorrow. So if you want to see a lot of great Woodbury footage, they will be showing that on Sunday on Peacock. And I believe the first episode is free. So please check it out so you can see our library and our campus some more. All right, we will continue with the School of Business. If anyone can confirm if the video thing is taken care of, just so we know that our tour guides are able to turn their video and mics on soon, hopefully. We will take a look at our School of Business here. And so this is right next to the library. So this is the atrium in the School of Business. You can see it's much more modern than the library is. And a lot of different majors will take place in here. So our business majors like marketing, fashion marketing, we have accounting, as well as computer information systems and management. But other classes will take place in here as well. And other majors will do things in here. We have meetings in here, guest speakers as well. And so we have our Fletcher Jones Auditorium here. And it's behind this wood wall here. So this is a 250-seat auditorium. You likely won't take any classes in here, but there are guest speakers and events that take place in here. The filmmaking and animation students will showcase their senior projects in here at the end of the year, and it's a really nice celebration that takes place. And then we have really small class sizes here as well. So our average class size is 15, which is really important because we want to make sure that everyone gets personalized attention, have great access to their professors. And so other majors that may take classes in here are in our College of Liberal Arts. So those majors may be professional writing, public safety administration, political science, history, but general education courses can take place in here as well. There we go. There's Bradley. I was like, you're leaving me alone all in here. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry about that, guys. I clicked unmute and my computer just like went black screen. I apologize about that. So either way, my name is Bradley DeBolio. I'm the business ambassador for Woodbury. I'm currently a 4th-year management student, and I'm super happy to be here with you guys. Again, sorry, I apologize about my tech. Yeah, I think Rachel did a great job of explaining this building. Yes, so this is my domain when I am on campus. So in this main atrium, I've experienced a lot of different things ranging from networking events to business competitions. And that being said, it's not just for business majors. Other majors will come in here and throw on different events. And yeah, definitely that Fletcher Jones Auditorium is a great place. I've seen a lot of guest speakers in there. I think the most impactful one was actually a Holocaust survivor guest speaker, which was just amazing. And it's awesome that our school is able to put on events like that and really show love to the students. And I guess the last thing I'd kind of touch on here for my experience in the business building is that the classrooms are small, but they're set up in the horseshoe structure so that people are more, you're kind of forced into having conversation. And that's also a really great way to learn.
Thank you, Bradley. All right. Well, luckily that wasn't the only stops that we had planned for you. So we will get to hear from you a bit more when we take a look at Woody's, which is our dining hall on campus. We are still kind of going around the quad so far, and all students enjoy socializing at Woody's. So let's hear a little bit more about that from Bradley.
Yeah, I go to Woody's a couple times a week. So I am a commuter, but when I come to campus, sometimes I forget my food, and I definitely come to Woody's. It's a great place to network around, meet new friends. On top of that, they have fresh new food options every single day, which is really awesome. If I had to pick my favorite food choice, it would definitely be a burger and fries. And one more thing I want to touch on at Woody's is the pricing. You know, when you're living on a student budget, sometimes you don't have too much money to buy food, but Woody's is definitely able to give you good quality food for an affordable cost.
Thank you, Bradley. Yes, and we will hear more about this later, but if you live on campus, you are required to get a meal plan. There are several choices there. There is also a commuter meal plan if that's something of interest to you, but you can also just, as Bradley mentioned, just buy what you need when you need it. Okay, the next building we're going to take a look at is the Isaacs building here. This is the faculty center. It's this beige building that's behind this red eye here. And aside from the School of Business, which is right next door, all the faculty and staff for each school is located in this building. So that would be School of Architecture, School of Media, Culture and Design, and the College of Liberal Arts. And so if you need to meet with your academic advisor, maybe you want to make an appointment during office hours, you can do that here as well. So again, the appeal of having a smaller campus is that, you know, everything's pretty centrally located. You don't have to huff and puff and travel miles to get somewhere. All right, our next stop is going to be the Witten Student Center. So this one, we don't have a picture of the building, but it is important to mention it. And so it's building number 14 on the map here, and Ruby is going to tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Ruby Pedrizzetti, and I'm a 3rd-year architecture student at Woodbury. I'm originally from Northern California, but right now I'm zooming from LA. And yeah, the Witten Student Center is a really important resource for students on campus. It has everything from tutoring to health services to, that's where you'd go pick up your mail if you were to live on campus. And one of the most important features of the Student Center is definitely our career services. And so we have a lot of great resources to help you refine and make your resume, cover letter, portfolio. And they also will help you get internships and look for jobs. And so it's really nice to have that kind of resource that's super easily accessible and anytime.
Thank you. All right, our next stop is going to be the Nan Ray Gallery. So let's take a look at our map just so we have an idea. We've kind of been moving in a circle around the quad so far. And the Nan Ray Gallery is very close to Woody's at the end of Cabrini Hall. And Ruby will show us this as well.
Yeah, so this is mostly a space used by graphic design students. It's a gallery space where they can put up their work to get critiqued by their professors who are working professionals or their classmates. And so it's just a great opportunity to get a taste of what it would be like to put your work up in a gallery. So you get experience curating the shows and all of that. And it's just nice to know what to expect once you graduate.
Perfect. And then next to Nan Ray Gallery is Cabrini Hall. And we're going to take a look at a fashion design studio in there as well.
Yeah, these spaces are really cool. This is an example of a fashion design studio where fashion design students each get their own workspace where they can make their creations. And so these studios are accessible 24/7. So you can come work late nights if you're cramming for finals, or just work in between classes. And I actually took a fashion design class. It was digital fashion design. Even though I'm an architecture major, Woodbury really encourages the interdisciplinary studies. So yeah, I took that course and it actually ended up helping me a lot with architecture, strangely enough. Just the different skills in Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop transferred over really well.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, let's keep it moving with our little virtual walking shoes. So we are going to leave the quad finally, and we're going to head on over to the design center. So this little blue rectangle is our swimming pool, kind of left over from when this campus used to be a high school. And right next to that is our design center, building 23 on the map. And so we are going to take a look at the design center with Aria.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aria. I am a senior filmmaking student here at Woodbury University. I'm actually zooming from Burbank here at the dorms, but I'm actually from Las Vegas, Nevada. So this is our design studio space. So as a film student, I actually used this space when I was taking a photography class. In that class, we had a lot of interesting projects and assignments. And one of my favorite assignments that we did was taking pictures of the same subject, place, or object 3 times during the day to showcase the lighting change on the subject. And this space, and then we would use the space for the class as well as in-class pinups and classmate and professor critiques. And yeah, that's how we use this space. It was very fun.
Thank you. And a lot of students will use this space, including animation, game art design, graphic design. There also is a psychology lab in this building, as well as an intelligent lighting lab that gets used by interior design students. We will see that in a bit. And there's computer labs upstairs as well. But lots of different majors will use this space, predominantly in the School of Media, Culture, and Design. All right, so we're going to go back to our map so we can showcase the next space. We're going to head back to Miller Hall, which is where we started. That is going to be a computer lab upstairs. There's lots of computer labs on campus, but this is an example of one that Aria is going to talk about.
Yes. So I actually use these spaces frequently for classes. One of the classes that I took was actually an editing class where one of our projects was that one of the professors went and shot a commercial, and we used the footage to create our own story through the power of editing, which was really interesting and fun. Screenwriting classes also we used in this space. There are Mac and PC computer labs to whichever you prefer, whatever you feel comfortable with. And students also use the space to print documents for finals. And luckily during finals, the space is open for 24 hours, which is very helpful for my finals. For one film class, I actually stayed up for till about 4 in the morning to finish an editing project that had a very intense visual effect in it. But also the different majors that can use this space are graphic design, animation, game art, and design. So everybody pretty much uses the space. It's very helpful.
Was your class that day super early, or were you able to go to sleep for a while?
I was able to go to sleep for a while, but I had this really intense visual effect for it, and I was trying to get it, but I finally was able to accomplish it, and I left that building at 4 o'clock in the morning. But luckily, it was much later in the day. So, but
Thankfully you had
it.
the opportunity to do that, work on your
Yes.
projects. Not a foreign experience for college students, I'm sure. Thank you, Aria. All right. So next we're going to take a look at our School of Architecture. So this little cluster of buildings that I'm circling down by the main entrance on the right-hand side is our School of Architecture. And the majors that usually use this space are going to be architecture, interior design, applied computer science and media arts. And then, as was mentioned earlier, our 3 new majors. So design computation, sustainable practices, and construction management. That was a mouthful, but those are the majors that will definitely take place in here. And so Ruby is going to show us around an architecture studio.
Yes. Okay. So this is an example of an architecture studio on a really busy studio day. So on our studio days, our professors will come to us in studio and check out the projects that we're working on and give us helpful feedback to help, bring us to the next step in the design process. And each architecture student has their own desk space, just similar to the fashion design studio. This, again, is a studio space that you can access 24 hours a day, anytime you want, which really is helpful for design-based majors. And you can see on the walls that there's a lot of pinned up work. So every time we come into studio, we pin up work on the wall and we get feedback from our professors who are working professionals, as well as our classmates. So it really helps us get experience being collaborative with each other. It sort of gives you a taste of what it might be like to work in a firm, work alongside with other people. And yeah, it's just definitely one of my favorite spaces on campus.
Right. And then, as we mentioned earlier, there is an intelligent lighting lab in the design center. So even though this is a School of Architecture space, it is back at the design studio, which we saw earlier, and it's the intelligent lighting lab.
Yeah, so this space is mainly used by interior design students to just test out different lighting scenarios on different materials, different study models. And so this is just a really nice resource to have on campus. You could even photograph models in here. Yeah, and then we can move on to the digital fabrication lab as well, which has a lot of similar resources. This is where maybe you would make a model and then bring it to the intelligent lighting lab. We have 3D printers, CNC routers, laser cutters. And I remember within the first week of architecture school, we were already using this space to laser cut a project. And it was just nice to have that immediate hands-on work, which, helps make these machines not seem so scary to use. And we also have orientation systems. So when you come here, you can learn how to use these machines in about a 30-minute orientation. And then, you can go and set up your file and start to see how to use the machine yourself. But there always are student workers or faculty in the making complex to help you if you need it. And this space is open to any major. It's not just architecture. Design majors use this all the time.
Yeah, fashion design students do use the laser cutter sometimes on their fabric to make a really intricate, cool design on there. I've heard cases of maybe animation, even business students using some of the resources in here. So as long as you get certified to use it, anyone can technically use this equipment. Cool. Thank you, Ruby. All right. Now we are going to finally meet Alfonso, who's been waiting patiently, and he's going to show us around the rest of the School of Architecture Making Complex.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alfonso Martinez. I'm a second-year architecture major, and I'm Zooming from Montebello, California. So here in the wood lab, we have a lot of analog machines, such as table saw, bandsaw, drill press, and a lot of hand tools students can use. Here, these machines are used for making prototype models, working on projects. So as an architect major, definitely a lot of time spent in there making our models and stuff. It's great that there's always a lot of people in there to help you out. So even if you don't know exactly what you're doing. You take an orientation that will teach you how to use all these machines, which is really, really cool. Moving on to our next room, we have the CNC room. There's this machine that basically cuts into different types of materials that you could use. Again, speaking as architect major, we would use this machine, for example, using like our topography models that we would make for our site model. So it's a great resource and great machine to have on campus at our disposal to use. Moving on to our next room, we have the materials testing lab. So this lab is actually kind of like an outdoor indoor space, which is really cool. There we have a digital knitting machine. We have a dye lab. We have students work with ceramics and casting there. So it's since it's outdoors, it's great. So it doesn't matter if you get messy or not. A lot of cool, unique projects are made there too. And how it was mentioned before, it's only not for architecture students, but a lot of majors and other majors could use these spaces as well. So I know fashion majors use these, interior design majors use these spaces as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Alfonso.
Thank you.
All right. And our last stop of this portion of the tour is going to be our entertainment media building, which is at the very top of our campus. A lot of students who live on campus in these residence halls love that it's so close to where they are living. So it's a really short walk. And we are going to take a look at our entertainment media building, which is home mostly to filmmaking students. However, animation students will likely take some classes in here as well. And then other students may use the resources too. So Aria, why don't you tell us a little bit about this space?
Thank you. So yeah, as film students, we actually use this space for 80% of our classes. The space and equipment can feel overwhelming coming as a freshman, but I actually, as a freshman, I took a class based on safety and like learning about the equipment and how to be professional on set. And it helped me so much within this major. One of my favorite classes in this space was an acting class. And we would learn how to direct actors and how to talk to them, as well as like know what it feels like to be on the other side of the camera. To get us out of our shelves, we would do like improv routines at the beginning of class. So one of my most memorable moments was when the professor told us to be our favorite animal and be our favorite animal all the way across the room and all the way back. And so it was a really fun experience. And I got to be an elephant all the way across the room and all the way back. So it was a very, very memorable moment. But the other space that we use is actually our screening room. And we use this space more for lecture-based classes like film histories, as well as animation students also have animation history in this room as well. We would use a space to watch our own films that we made, and we would also use a space to obviously watch and study other films. Students can reserve this space if they want to in their free time. You can actually hook up your computer to the HDMI and watch Netflix or TV on this big screen with amazing speakers. And I've actually seen people bring their Nintendo Switch and like play that on the big screen to play Mario Kart. So yeah, this space is a huge favorite on campus and gets used very frequently.
Perfect. Thank you, Aria. And thank you to all of our tour guides for showing us around the campus. As one last reminder, please be sure to join us in breakout number 3 for the Ask a Student panel, because that is when you can get to know our ambassadors a little bit better, ask them more detailed questions. It's more of an informal conversation and get all of those questions. I know there was a lot going on in the chat. I was not able to keep up with it, but if there were any questions that didn't get answered in the chat, you can get those answered from us or in your major breakout rooms if they were specific to a major. Other than that, we thank you for your time. We hope to see you later for the Ask a Student panel or the housing tour. Here is my text number if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of that. If you have any questions on tour info or any questions about our ambassadors or how to get in contact with them, feel free to text me at that number, and I will also put my email in the chat as well. Thank you all so much and have a great rest of your day.